Hi, I'm Bill Bateman, and I'll be your instructor for Measurement 1 this semester. If I had to rename this course to make it more descriptive, I'd probably call it Financial and Management Reporting and Analysis. We'll talk more about what I mean by that as the course progresses. I now split my time between my primary home in Midland, Michigan, and my home in Fancy Gap, Virginia, up in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Today, you can see I'm speaking to you from my deck on the Dogwood Mountain. I'm married to Kim, who some of you may know from taking her online humanities course as a Northwood undergrad student. She also works as a librarian in the toxicology lab at Dow Chemical Corporation. I received my BBA from Western Michigan University, an MSM from Walsh College in Troy, and a DBA from the Huizenga School of Business at Nova Southeastern University, located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I did things opposite from most people. I went to school in Fort Lauderdale and took my spring break in Michigan. My immediate family still lives in southeast Michigan. I grew up in Royal Oak before it was cool and made it my home until about 20 years ago when I decided to follow the dollar both literally and figuratively. I've been at Northwood since 2007 after a 25-year career in commercial lending at Comerica Bank in Detroit, Grand Rapids, and South Florida, and I also spent a couple of years at South Trust Bank in Virginia Beach before leaving banking to start my career in higher education. I'm the past president of Northwood's Michigan campus, but I recently returned to teaching where I think I can make a greater impact on student success. I serve on several nonprofit boards in Midland, and I'm also an elected official as a member of the Midland County ISD School Board. Okay, now for the good news. Okay, wait for it. This is not an accounting course. Okay, this is not an accounting course in the sense that you won't be expected to be able to prepare a financial statement when you finish your coursework. You will be able to understand financial management reports and how to use them and analyze them. I'm not an accountant. I've been a user of financial management information for my entire life. We'll start off by discussing briefly how financial statements are prepared, but most of our time will be spent understanding what the reports tell us and how we can use that information on an operational basis each day in our jobs as leaders and managers. I understand that some of you come to class as licensed CPAs and other of you may have struggled through the basic accounting courses as undergrads. Most of you are probably somewhere in the middle with your knowledge of accounting. Don't let your level of experience affect how you'll participate in this class. Sure, we'll be relying on some of the SMEs. Those are subject matter experts, and you know who you are, so don't try to hide. And they'll help us along the way. But everyone can bring their personal experience and knowledge to contribute effectively. I found that sometimes the best question is the best contribution. My intent is to help demystify financial management reporting, and at the end of this course, you should be able to read reports, understand reports, analyze reports, ask questions, and apply or operationalize what you've learned. Accounting in and of itself is not hard. What makes it difficult is the thousands of pages of FASB statements, case law, and tax regulations. Throw in a good dose of ethics, fraud, and auditing, and you have a discipline that is worthy of the 150 plus college credit hours and professional experience needed to sit for the CPA exam. We'll be touching briefly on some of these concepts, but don't expect to be an instant CPA at the end of this course. Do expect to be able to sit in a meeting and ask good questions, make adjustments to your operations, or prepare a simple budget based on what you will learn. I've reached out to most of you with an invitation to LinkedIn. I could not find many of you in my search. If you are on LinkedIn and have not yet connected with me, please send me an invitation now. If you are not on LinkedIn, you should be. Okay? If you prefer not to participate in LinkedIn, I understand. So instead, send me a short bio. We won't be introducing each other to one another online since y'all did that last semester. I find that LinkedIn is an effective way to get to know a little bit about you before class starts without having to go through the introduction process again as a group. You've been in the program for a semester and you've had 2 classes. I'm sure that Todd and Tara or Adam have you up to speed on the use of Blackboard. I've tried to copy what they did so you'll know where to find things. Don't hesitate to ask if you can't find something or don't understand my expectations. In particular, Don't set up the raw spreadsheet from the cases. I'll be posting those in the Case Materials tab on Blackboard to help you get started. If you don't see it, it probably exists. I just forgot to put it up. And let me know, and I'll be glad to post it. I'm an avid user of rubrics. They are attached to each assignment. Review the rubric before starting an assignment. This will help you be successful. Students are always asking me, how many pages do you want for papers? Well, my answer is long enough to cover the important points, but short enough to keep my attention. I believe that brevity is the essence of brilliance. I could allow you to go on in a paper, and eventually you'll stumble upon something brilliant or some great analysis. As they say, even a blind squirrel finds an acorn once in a while. I believe it's important to know what is important. Again, I believe it's important to know what is important. Be concise, be cogent, be consistent. I also like the use of headers. It helps guide the reader through your paper. I will accept late work, but you'll get a 10% deduction for each day an assignment is late. Contribution plays a role in much of your coursework. It's important to take this part of the class seriously. It not only adds value to the learning of the other students, but will serve as a way for you to apply your learning. Each discussion board will run for 2 weeks. An initial question will be posted on Sunday evening of the new week. Students are expected to respond to the initial question by the following Wednesday. A follow-up question will be added later in the week that you will be expected to respond to. The second week of the discussion will generally include threads from both the initial and secondary question. The minimum number of posts for each discussion board is expected to be the 2 responses to the instructor's questions and 3 or 4 responses to one another. This level of participation will fall within the B range of the rubric. Okay, let's get started now. Go to the assignment tab at the beginning of each week to view your weekly workload. Don't be afraid to contact me with questions. You can get a hold of me through a text, phone, email, whatever it takes, and I'll be glad to help you. Let's have a good semester.